Are you feeling scared about something, anxious, terrified, panicked? Let's understand anxiety and get to the root emotions that are underneath it. Let's go through these AI slides. We're putting out videos Wednesdays and Saturdays. Saturdays on love topics, self-love, love in your relationship, right? And Wednesdays on various like self-healing modalities. So today is on anxiety. Who can relate? Do you get anxious? So sometimes anxiety is not what it appears to be. It can be protective, like a protective response to deeper, more vulnerable emotions that feel too scary to face. Like have compassion for you, right? um, let's explore what lies beneath the surface. The hidden truth, anxiety as an emotional mask. This is interesting. These slides are generated by AI. That's why our channel is called Guided by AI. But I believe that AI is just like a collection of everything. Like it just really quickly grabs everything from us humans, like our collective knowledge. So I like to look at these slides and say what I like, what I don't, what I agree with, what I don't, right? Like, and please share what you like, don't like, agree with, don't agree with, okay? Um, what do we feel when we have anxiety? I mean, if you have anxiety, you know, right? But let's go through some of the things. Racing thoughts. Do your thoughts go really, really fast? Tight chest. What do you feel in your body? Restlessness. This is how I get. Like, I need to run, right? Worry spirals, like thoughts just go down, right? Like negative. These familiar anxiety symptoms can dominate our awareness. What's hidden? What's underneath that anxiety? Like it's all about going deeper, right? And when you're like it can be hard. A lot of times we need like a somatic practice, right? To settle our system enough to feel the vulnerability underneath. Maybe it's sadness, what is it? Grief, shame, anger, loneliness, fear of abandonment. These vulnerable emotions hide behind anxiety's protective wall. Anxiety functions like the tip of an iceberg, visible and immediate, while the real massive emotion remains hidden beneath the surface. Yeah, I love this example of an iceberg. I always use this iceberg example to talk about the thinking mind versus the subconscious underneath and how we need to get in the subconscious to like see what's there like it's saying here. So here's another example of an iceberg where that's the anxiety, which is very much about this racing thoughts, right, and bodily symptoms. But we need to go deeper. So why do our minds choose anxiety? Why is that a protection? um, well, it feels safer to have an anxiety attack is maybe safer, than feeling that vulnerable stuff. We have to have a high level of safety to be willing to go there. I had to learn practices. Now I can do this with myself, not always, but a lot of times, and get at the vulnerability myself. Sometimes I need another person, right? That presence. I guide others through this. So anxiety could feel safer, like worrying about the future feels more manageable than sitting with present pain or loss. I like this. Yeah, like it's so humbling to me because I practice so much of this stuff. I teach so much of this stuff, and yet am I always in the present moment? Absolutely not. Do I still get anxiety? Yeah. So but that's it. Like it's about and fear, anxiety is fear, right? Is about fear is kind of the hardest one, I think, to sit with, right? Like one time I had the experience of having a panic attack. I remember this moment, like viscerally, right? And deciding for whatever reason, having the braveness to turn around. It's all in my mind, right? But like I imagined instead of running, because I want to run. I don't know how you get when you're anxious, right? I want to get out of there. I want to distract. I want to, right? It goes really fast. But I remember I turned around in my mind, right? Like I can't turn around and face myself, but this is what it felt like. It felt almost like out of body, like, no, I'm going to turn around and face that panic, right? And it was really cool because guess what? It dissipated. So we need to sit with it. We need to face it. We can help each other, right? So why do we choose anxiety? Well, it's a control illusion. Like it's about control. My boyfriend tells me like it's about control, Sarah. Like you're trying to control things again. But that's an illusion, but we feel like it's giving us some control. So yeah, I relate to that. Do you? Anxious thoughts create a sense we can think our way out. It's actually sad, right? Because we can't think our way out of the emotional discomfort. You can't. Like, you need to feel it. I need to feel it, let the wave of emotion go through, and then you're fine. Like, you're lighter. It's right. Okay, another reason would be social acceptance. Anxiety is more socially acceptable than raw emotions. This makes me angry. I feel anger at this because it's ridiculous, right? Like, I love what I do. I love to help people feel their emotions. I love to have been taught. I'm grateful, the different things that I've studied, to have been taught how to access mine and feel mine. um, and I think it's beautiful. Like I love if somebody, like cries, right? And just lets it flow through them. Or even with anger, if it's not coming out at someone, like punching a pillow, right? That's what we did in Isha Judd's system. The fact that anxiety is more socially acceptable, which leads to things like unhealthy behaviors, right? Distraction, addiction, like it's really sad, um, to me. Like let's encourage people to express emotions. And yes, especially deep sadness can be underneath, which is beautiful, and you come out lighter. So feels scary, but believe me, like you can do it. You can learn to do this, and it feels great, actually. It's kind of like when you puke, you feel better. Same thing. When you allow yourself to feel what's underneath, not just like distract or take a pill or eat or whatever, right? It's very wonderful. It's a very relieving feeling. Okay, the protective function of anxious thoughts. How do anxious thoughts protect us? Because it seems like they take me down, right? All this negative spiraling thinking. Anxiety serves as an emotional bodyguard, stepping in when feelings become too intense or threatening. Right. Like if your trigger is for whatever reason so strong, and the reason, by the way, it's probably because it connects to something in childhood, right? And it's so strong, it's too overwhelming, it's too painful. Like you're going to obsess about stuff and become anxious, and it's protective in that way, because you're too scared to feel it, or you don't have the right supports to feel it, right? It creates distance from pain, but the pain is still there, through mental activity, analyzing, planning, problem solving, but that stuff is still there. So, what happens? Painful emotion arises. Loss, rejection, trauma triggers vulnerable feelings. And you've had these experiences where something really upsets you and you feel out of control, right? You're like, you don't even quite know why, and it's happening so fast. And maybe it's rage, and like, that's not socially acceptable, or whatever it is, right? Anxiety activates, boom. Mind creates worries and fears. This is so interesting, to avoid sitting with the pain. I don't know if I've thought of it in this way as like a protective thing. Like my anxiety is trying to protect me. That's interesting. Mental distraction, focus shifts to future concerns rather than present emotions. Yeah, you're trying to get control, right? Recognizing when anxiety is covering deep. How do you know if it's covering deeper emotions? Well, it just probably is. I mean, almost always, right? Um, you can use the timing test. Anxiety that appears after loss, conflict, major life changes often masks grief or fear, thought patterns, obsessive worry about specific people or situations, points to underlying attachment fears, physical sensations. Notice if it feels different. Like, how does anxiety feel in your body? Heavy in the chest, lump in the throat, if you feel something in your throat, I learned in Isha Judd system to scream. It's really awesome. You can do it in your hands, mm, in your arm, mm. Or I like to like use like a towel or something and scream into that to move that emotion, right? And help access what's underneath. Maybe you start crying after doing that. Punching a pillow is another one to move anxiety or energy. Avoidance behaviors. Notice what you're avoiding. Places, people, activities that could trigger deeper feelings. Basically, just get curious about you, about your anxiety, and don't get down on yourself um, for having it, but rather be like, oh, what's underneath that? And be curious, be loving, get help, right? Um, Common emotions that trigger anxious responses. I think it's deep stuff, right? If something triggers you deeply, some of your patterns, right? Some of my patterns, common ones are like feeling unworthy, right? I'm not good enough, whatever it is, right? I can't do it. Like whatever your recurring negative thoughts or limiting beliefs are, and maybe you've explored this, maybe you haven't yet. Grief and loss, death, breakups, job loss, life transitions, yeah, change, right? Can trigger worry about the future rather than sadness about what's gone. Shame. I have a healing shame workshop that I'm leading in about a week. If anyone's near Milwaukee, please come. Feelings of inadequacy, self-criticism, manifesting as social anxiety or perfectionist worry. Anger, suppressed rage can emerge as anxiety. We need to learn that anger's not bad. It's okay. Even rage, right? Like, of course, we can't hurt people, like, and don't hurt yourself, right? But um, finding healthy ways to express that instead of stuffing it, right? Punching a pillow or exercising or, exploring what's there, writing it out, and then throw it away, right? Or talk back to it. Um, Frequently for me, again, I learned this in Isha Judd system through experience. Like when they would have me punch a pillow and I'd have anger, right? Like such anger, and it was from childhood, right? Then I would cry. So underneath the anger is frequently sadness. So suppressed rage could emerge as anxiety about confrontation or fear of losing control. Yeah, observe like, are you needing to control something because you feel out of control? And then have compassion for you. Like you're a little girl or little boy and like you feel so out of control. Like pretend you're your own parent and like help contain you, right? A sense of containment. Loneliness could trigger anxiety, right? I feel this in the evenings frequently. Like frequently at night, I have a difficult time with loneliness. So deep isolation can transform into anxiety about social situations, fear of abandonment. The power of getting to the tears. Yeah, I mean, I'm all about crying. So I don't know if you are or aren't, or don't like to cry, or do, or haven't really tried it yet. But I mean, it's so healing. Oh, this is funny because the quote is by me. Get to the tears. I don't remember saying that, but I am all about crying. This phrase captures a profound truth. Tears signal we've reached the authentic emotion beneath anxiety. Yeah, it means, again, like this is what I learned in Isha Judd system. Like if I'm crying, if I'm feeling my sadness, that's good. I'm connected at that point. I'm in my heart, right? Versus these distraction behaviors or thinking about the future or trying to control or whatever. I'm feeling the real thing. I'm in the moment. So when we stop running from our feelings and allow ourselves to cry, we access healing that anxious thinking absolutely can't provide. So I love helping others with this too. I love it because I'm so grateful to those who have helped me and for my own ability now to do it myself a lot of the time. Again, sometimes I need another person or really want that presence or need it, and other times I can do it myself now that I've been taught kind of like a process that works for me. I'd love to share it with you. So tears release tension. Yeah, you come out so much lighter, you guys. You come out in your consciousness frequently. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Give this love to you, the child you, right? Crying physically releases stress hormones. That's cool. and activates the body's natural calming response. Aw, I didn't even know that really. I didn't think about it in that way. But yeah, of course. I love that. Emotional clarity. Once we cry, we understand what we're really feeling and what we truly need. Yeah, you get that clarity, right? Things are become clear, which is beautiful. Especially when you're like in that so to have that clarity and that calmness, it's beautiful. It's like after puking, you feel better. Practical techniques to undercover underlying feelings. So I suggested a couple that I learned in Isha Judd system, punching a pillow, screaming. Pause, pause. Pause is a great one so you don't do damage, right? Or make stupid decisions. Pause the mental loop, which you might not be able to. I can't stop this without somatic practices usually. When anxiety spirals, stop and ask, what am I really feeling right now beneath the worry? And if you cannot do that because it's going too fast, do a somatic breath. So, but what I mean by that is something through the body, through the breath. Do breath work, try meditation, listen to music. Music really helps me because if I try different songs and hit on something that helps me release an emotion, right? Or try writing, get those thoughts out. Try, I mean, running, isn't always running away. Like maybe your body needs to move, and then you can sit and try to do some of these practices and ask that, right? I like to just write "la" and see, right? Okay, body scan. So notice physical sensations, tightness, heaviness, pain, any physical sensation. Um, Often those sensations hold emotional information that anxiety masks. I feel like that's a little bit unclear. It's like your physical sensation could hold an emotion, right? So by observing it, like I have been having a lot of physical symptoms on the right side of my body. So I have stuff coming up lately, and this is how mine manifests. I don't know why. It's like this side is healthy and this side like becomes almost crippled. It's really scary. It's really interesting. I don't quite understand it, but I do know that as it's suggesting here, if I focus on it, right? Like with love, sometimes I will cry or release an emotion. So some of that is like holding emotion. Um, so it's all about finding these clues, right? So we can connect because that will give you a sense of control, a sense that things are okay, is when you understand what's going on because you're like, oh, this is what I'm thinking that's hurting me, or this is what I'm feeling. I'm having a lot of sadness. It's like caring for the child you, right? Journal without editing. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Don't censor it. Don't censor it, no matter how ugly or terrible, right? Because you can trash that later. Re or connect recent events. Link anxiety spikes to recent losses, conflicts, changes that could trigger emotions. So, also, do you have somebody in your life that can help you? My boyfriend really helps me put these pieces together. When I'm spiraling, I don't know, I can't put the pieces together, right? Sometimes, like if I do these practices, it'll become clear. Sometimes it's really, really helpful. Often he'll say, oh, well, you saw your mom the other day and that's a trigger for you. Or you, right? Like he'll put those pieces together for me. Do you have somebody like that in your life um, that can help put those pieces together for you? Moving from anxiety to authentic emotional processing, recognize the pattern. Notice when anxiety appears. Yeah, that's comforting too. If like you want control, right? Well, you get to have a little bit by this understanding, like, oh, that's a common trigger for me. Okay, this feels really hard, but it's common. I've made it through this before. Like, this is a common one for me. There's power in that, right? Like beginning to know what our limiting beliefs, negative thoughts are, or common triggers. Like, I mean, you still feel it so strong, but you're kind of aware, like, oh, I've made it through this before. This is one of my things. It's a little bit comforting, right? To know yourself better and better. Allow the feeling. Let sadness, anger, fear emerge without judgment. Absolutely let those emotions out and get help with it. If it's scary, get help with it. I can help with this because I've been through it and I've learned many ways to do this. Create safe space, find a private moment to sit with whatever comes up. So I've had a lot of fear triggered recently, and I've had to really dedicate myself to self practice first over everything in the morning, right? No matter how long it takes. Like that is the priority. So yeah, creating space for that because sometimes I find that it takes time. Like it just I have to work myself into it. Like my body needs to feel safe. Like listen to music for a while and then I'll drop, right? Honor the process. Trust that feeling leads to healing. Yeah, and authentic relief. Anxiety decreases naturally once we've processed the underlying emotion. Yeah, like if you allow that feeling, it can feel scary, but you allow it out, you're gonna then feel calm, most likely. The goal isn't to eliminate worry, but to ensure we're addressing root causes rather than symptoms. Yeah, what's underneath, what's in the subconscious, right? Your journey forward, embracing emotional authenticity. Embrace your emotions and embrace authenticity. The real you. The world needs the real you, right? So practice self-compassion. Be patient with yourself. When anxiety flares, use that as a red flag, like, hey, I need more love. I don't need to go against myself for this, like shouldn't have anxiety. No, I need more love. I need time. I need space. I need practices. I may need people to go and see what's underneath. Be patient with yourself as you learn to feel rather than think your way through emotions because you can't, right? Trust the process. Trust the process. Healing happens when we move toward our feelings, not away from them. Seek support. So, therapy, trusted friends who can witness your emotional journey. The path from anxiety to authenticity isn't always easy. It's not. But it leads to genuine peace. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It does. And it's okay. Like those of us who struggle with anxiety, there's even a good part of that because we can help others, right? And frequently we're sensitive people, and there's a lot of good about that too, so it's okay. When you get to the tears, you get to the truth. Yep. And from there, real healing begins. So that's our last slide. So, hey, let me know what you think of this video, what your experience is with anxiety, what helps you, and we can continue on our journey forward. So, love you all. Bye.